This video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 signs that you are a starseed, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 major signs that you are a starseed and understanding what you can actually do about it. Now the first thing I want to throw out there is that when it comes to understanding this kind of idea, this is a lot of times a more new agey type idea. However, when understanding it, let me just clarify something. The first thing I want to clarify is understanding that every single person on this planet is multidimensional, meaning that they exist here right now, but they have other connections to themselves at higher levels. The question is not who is a starseed, who is not a starseed. The question is, how aware of it are you? Now, we could say that a starseed is, when we think of starseed, what's the conventional way of understanding it? A starseed would be somebody that, a soul or somebody that came here for a specific mission, and they know that they come from another type of realm, another type of star system. Maybe even they remember what star system that is, but they just mainly remember that this is not necessarily home, or they have other homes that they are from that they remember even more, or they feel like they have a connection to, even if it's not a visual type memory. That's kind of like the traditional way of understanding what a starseed is. Now, when we look at it in the actual terms of how reality works, we can see that every single person on the planet is multidimensional. The thing is, starseeds, the younger generation that's coming in, they're less influenced by social conditioning, or it's easier for them to get out of it. From this point going forward, the younger generation has the easiest ability to connect into it because it's easier for them to let go of the prior conditioning, of the social conditioning, of the negative beliefs of their environment growing up. Whereas sometimes we've got some people that may be 40, 50 years old or more, and they have all this baggage from years and years of piling on. Now, it doesn't mean that they're less multidimensional. It means that there may be a couple more layers that they have to move through in order to get to that awareness. However, the reason I'm also making this video, just so that you know, if you're watching this video, then you are a starseed. Meaning that you exist here now, but you also exist in higher states of consciousness, and you have also existences on other realms, and other realms of consciousness. And I would even go as far as to say, as when you go to bed every single night, you are awake in those realms. It's just that being multidimensional, the point of this place that we are right now on Earth is that we forget who we are. And there's a purpose behind that, because if you remember that you were multidimensional and that you exist in these higher states of consciousness of unconditional love and bliss, and things happen magically or instantly, and you're here, you may want to be up there and it may distract you. So part of the purpose of life is remembering who we really are and going through what is called a spiritual awakening and having these different layers of letting go of the social conditioning. So first thing I want you to know, if you're watching this video right now, you are already that of a starseed. That's actually the first point I'm going to make. The first sign is that you're actually watching this video because you cannot perceive that which you are not the vibration of, and there are no coincidences. So if you're here right now, then you even clicking on a video that talks about a starseed is the first sign that you are a starseed. But remember, pretty much everyone at a certain level is multidimensional. However, this is you are more aware of it, and because you are more aware of it and because you are more open to it, it's even stronger. It's something that even resonates with you deeper. So some common traits of starseeds may also be having a lot of energy, or feeling like they're bogged down in school systems because they're meant to think and be a certain way when they feel much more creative. Having and being labeled as ADHD would be another thing that many starseeds are labeled with. Starseeds in general are here right now to make great change on the planet, because right now we are moving from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness. We are moving from that of a 3D duality level of consciousness, which is good, bad, light, dark, up, down. We are moving from that level of consciousness into that of more of love, of understanding that reality itself isn't as rigid as we once thought that it was. We grew up thinking that reality is so rigid. It is the way that it is. However, when we understand that reality is meant to be more like a dream, we then see how much more flexible our life can become. Our life becomes much more flexible once we start to tap into that. So what I encourage you to do is to start to go within yourself and to find out, does this resonate with you? Because when I first went through my awakening, I was learning about star seeds, I was learning about different systems and different realities, and there were certain ones that really resonated with me. And then when I was studying certain ones, I had this real strong resonance within my body, and I just simply knew that that was something that was true. So in the same way, go within yourself and ask yourself about this, and how does this make you feel? And another trait of starseeds, maybe sometimes you feel left out. Maybe sometimes you feel like you don't fit in like you used to, because you're starting to remember more of who you are, and as you do, you raise your vibration, and as you raise your vibration, you start to resonate with new types of people, or the people that you used to resonate with, you don't resonate with as much. So this is all part of a process. And when I went through it in 2012, I had a lot of people that fell out of my life, and I had a lot of people that didn't understand what I was going through, because I was going through a spiritual awakening, and I felt kind of alone for a while. And the thing is I understood that there was a larger mission at play, and I understand that this was part of the process. However, it doesn't have to be that hard, because you don't also have to label people as being either awake or not awake, or they're not with it. You know, we don't have to share this information with everyone. You know within yourself, and you can feel within yourself whether this resonates with you or not. And just kind of go within and see, does this resonate with you? And start to play around with the idea and start to maybe meditate and see what comes up. But this is about just simply knowing that you are more than you priorly thought, and that the more you tap into this energy, the more that you get more and more confirmation of it. So the first one is that you're simply watching this video. You cannot perceive that which you are not the vibration of. So if you're here right now, you're a starseed. Now the second sign that you're a starseed is, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you have a greater mission? Now when I say a greater mission, I don't mean just like, you know, maybe you're working a 9-to-5 job and you think, you know, I want to own my own business. I mean deeper than that. Do you feel like you came to the planet, you came to Earth to really make change? Do you feel like there's a greater mission within you that's always been there? I remember when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I had that feeling. I had the feeling that this life, I really believe that this life on Earth is the time to be here right now, because this transition, there is so much evolution, there is so much that we can do in such a short period of time, because things are accelerated so much, that this is the place to be. This is why there are now 8 billion people on the planet. I heard that the other day from someone. There's 8 billion people on the planet right now. It's growing so much because there's so many souls that want to be here. That has a strong impact to do with it. Not just that we're reproducing quickly. It also has to do with everyone wants to be here right now for this transition that is taking place. Because this is the time of change. This is the time of us taking our power back. And do you feel like you have a part in that at some level? Maybe it's helping the planet. Maybe it's being more eco-friendly and it's helping get other people on board. A lot of starseeds will also feel like they are meant to be sharing a message. Maybe even on YouTube, you know. And this was something that propelled me to get onto YouTube, is I knew that I had a message for people, and I knew that the more I tapped into my core, the more that other people would then resonate with it. So I started doing YouTube videos, and I was doing one a week, and then eventually I started doing every day, and that's when things began to grow, because I was also following my heart. So when it comes to finding your greater mission, think of what you are passionate about and then how you can add value to other people. So it's a combination of those two things. What would add value to people? It could be spreading a message. It could be creating content. It could be uplifting those around you. You don't have to be in the public limelight, but you could do something that makes a change. And if you feel like you had a greater mission or some type of greater mission, and maybe even from a young age, then that's a sure sign as well that you may be a starseed. So it's about just recognizing yourself and recognizing the different desires that you have. And maybe a certain time, you know, you are focused on the 3D stuff of like of becoming successful or whatever it is. However, there's a thread underneath that of wanting to add value, of wanting to help people. And that is something that you begin to tap into the more that you start to dive into this kind of information. So realize that there's this transition going on right now. If you want more information on that as well, I've been promoting her books a lot. Dolores Cannon has 17 or 19 books out on these transcripts of people in the deepest levels of hypnosis. And it's these people that all over the world, she's had thousands and thousands of these transcripts of different people saying their higher self is coming through, saying why they're here right now, and why they incarnated, the relationship with this person, and why this happened in their life, and all of this stuff, and what they do in higher realms and stuff like that. And the consistency through all of this is that there are many, many, many people that say they're here right now for a shift in consciousness, for this dimensional shift that's happening. And the 3D into the 4D level of consciousness, or depending on how we want to label the terms, It's about duality, control from the 3D of good, bad, light, dark into that of more of our heart center, understanding we're all connected, understanding there's more of this ability to have a flexible reality where we don't have to think linearly so much, we don't have to think logically so much. So that is something that's available to us right now. And we tap into it more and more by being in our heart center, by taking action and knowing that as we are in doing what we're passionate about, we start to exist in a higher frequency state. So that's another sign that you are a starseed. Now, the third sign that you're a starseed is one that I definitely acknowledge or resonate with. It is, do you feel like you are a rebel? Like you challenge the system? Like you don't understand why reality sometimes is the way it is? I remember I kind of went through a phase when I was going through my awakening where I got kind of angry. I got angry because all of this information I'm learning about how reality works, about metaphysics and all of this stuff, and I'm very passionate about it. However, I'm like, why don't other people know this? Why didn't we learn this in school? And I do more research and find out that a lot of this information is kind of kept back, and we're meant to like regurgitate stuff in school, and it kind of is a distraction from the true reality of who we are. And I became kind of angry. And that anger didn't really end up serving me, except for it made me aware of it, and it made me almost a rebel, because then what I wanted to do is I wanted to help change. I wanted to make a difference. It gave me motivation to make YouTube videos. Like, of course, it's not like I'm going to challenge the system necessarily. I don't do it in a resistant way. I do it in a way where I realize that the more positive energy I put out into the world, the more that changes the perception of people and how they look at things. So the key with this is not to be mad at the back government or not be mad at how reality is, because that what you resist persists. Instead, acknowledge it, be aware of it, but then decide to let it go. Then decide that you're going to do what you can to change it. So we can get mad about the earth pollution and all of this stuff that's happening. We can get mad about it, but that madness can sometimes propel us to take action. But the key is actually to focus instead on the solution, to focus on the vibration of peace. That's why they say that you can't, if you're trying to protest, having a protest for peace is like yelling for silence. You know, it doesn't really promote it. You want to promote it by being it and by making the changes in that way. So maybe you feel like a rebel. Maybe you feel like things are the way they are. They shouldn't be like this. That was one of the calls that had us starseeds come here, is we knew that the earth needed help. We knew that we wanted to come to this reality to wake up. And part of that had to do with really being aware that things need to be changed here. There's this consciousness shift that's happening, and there's these old systems that are falling away. The old financial system, the old government, everything is starting to kind of trickle down and fall away, because this is the time of transformation on the planet. So maybe you could feel it within yourself, but does a part of you feel like kind of a rebel, like things should be different, and that you want to maybe somehow do something about it or make people more aware of it? So this is something else that's a sign that you may be a starseed. And like I said, if you're watching this video, you're already multidimensional. It's about just being aware of it. And the things that I would recommend to you and what you can actually do about it is to, first off, it's going to sound corny and I say it in a lot of my videos, be in your heart center. Be in your heart center. When you're in your heart center, you're in a high vibrational state, and combine that with the way that you can add value to other people. Spread that light. You are a light being. In this life, you are meant to raise your vibration. Focus on raising your vibration by purging out things that don't serve. Maybe purging out that of the news and the stuff that bogs you down. Get rid of all that. Understand that it doesn't serve you anymore. And the more that you're in your high vibrational state, and the more that you take pride in that, the more that will be something that begins to cultivate. So understand you are a powerful being, and that you have these connections at many different layers of reality. When you go to bed at night, you're there anyways. You just don't remember it. Set the intention you remember it. Set the intention that you remember more of this connection that you have to different realities, but don't get too caught up in it. Sometimes we get so caught up in it that we don't want to be here. We still need to be here. There's still a purpose behind us being here. And the more that you tap into that purpose, the easier that transition is going to be for you. You know, another thing as well is a lot of starseeds will find that they like to go to substances. They may like to drink a lot or smoke a lot, because they suppress their vibration. That was me for a long time. I used to smoke a lot of weed when I was back in 2012, and that was because my vibration, the way that I had so much energy that I would do that and it would calm me down. However, I realized that was kind of suppressing my energy. Once I got rid of that, my vibration actually raised, and when it raised, I couldn't then go back to it because it would bring me back down. You're meant to have a high vibration naturally, and when you're in that high vibe state, you won't need to do any of that. And not only that, but you will be even more productive, you will be even more in a higher alignment, and you will be able to then accomplish what you want easier than ever. So this is about clarity as well. And some people don't like it when I say that. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that weed is bad. I'm just saying that be honest to why you're doing it if you are, because a lot of starseeds do it, I've noticed. And I did too, so I totally get it. And the last thing you want to hear is somebody telling you that you should or shouldn't be doing it. I'm not saying either one. Just be honest with yourself. And if you find that you feel like it's holding you back anyway, maybe it's time to go back into your root, your groundedness. Go back into you being centered, going back into you understanding the power that you have to cultivate your own high vibrational state. And yes, there'll be a little bit of a buffer period when it feels a little bit weird getting off of it, but afterwards you'll feel so much better. You'll have more energy, you'll feel like your vibration is higher. I feel high all the time right now, and if I were to smoke, it would bring my vibration down. So I don't need to do it. So I don't drink, I don't smoke. Not saying that because it makes me better. I'm just saying, if you're a starseed, which you are if you're watching this video, be honest with yourself as to whether you need that or not, and focus on just simply raising your vibration and seeing how you can then add value. If you don't know your purpose, set the intention to find it. These are all things you can begin to do. Understand you are a multidimensional being. There are many different star systems out there. You come from and you're here right now, but you have connections to many of them. You may have connections to Sirius, Arcturus, Pleiadian, so many different ones. However, it's about just being aware of that, being centered in your heart, taking action from that place, having the intention to add value, and then watching what happens. So something else I'll be doing, and something else that I have for you is called the shift experience. The shift experience is something I'm making right now that will help you to shift your level of consciousness so that you can also add value to people and help people go through the shift as well. You can sign up for updates on it. It's coming out in the next couple months. You'll see it in the top of the description box below. Also, I'm going to be doing more live Q&As on Instagram, so if you want to ask me questions, maybe even more of these esoteric ideas, and you have questions about it, go and follow me on Instagram. I do daily posts there, plus I also do a lot of live Q&As. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little notification here next to the subscribe button so you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.